What if I told you Africa wasn't colonized? It was reprogrammed. Not just lands taken, but minds rewritten and cultures rearranged. Nations were invented like products on a shelf. This is the story of how an entire continent was redesigned. Not by its people, but by strangers who had never set foot on it. After 1885, European powers rushed into Africa like it was Black Friday. France, Britain, Belgium, Germany, Portugal, they carved up over 10,000 communities into 50 artificial states that were drawn on a map. Check the map very well, you'll see some very straight lines. They were drawn with ruler, I imagine. The people inside those borders never asked, never consulted. Whole kingdoms were cut in half. Enemy tribes were forced into the same country. Even deserts and rivers, they were split like they were furniture. Colonization wasn't just flags and guns, it was systems. New languages imposed, new laws replaced old traditions, new education that taught African children to admire Europe and question themselves. Spirituality replaced with guilt, identity replaced with hierarchy. Even names changed from kingdoms like Buganda, Dahomey, Asante to labels like French West Africa, British Nigeria, Belgian Congo. Africa became a collection of possessions. Rubber, gold, cocoa, palm oil, cotton. Africa's resources were not harvested, they were extracted. I mean, it was after slave trade. Slave trade had been abolished. Entire villages worked for taxes. Forced labor built roads Europeans will use. Soldiers punished those who resisted. And the wealth flowed outward, from African soil straight into European cities. Meanwhile, Africa's cities were left underdeveloped on purpose. I mean, a starving servant is easier to control. But today, that is why a lot of African countries are still starving. And guess what? If we actually had leaders who had a vision for Africa, if we had leaders who had the strength of will to resist, we wouldn't be subservient to the European forces. So this is not to castigate those European people. This is for you to understand that even if they come bearing gifts, you can decline and say, no, we are going to do this our way. Because if they're trying to intentionally starve you, you can decide and choose not to be starved. Not every gift is a gift. Some gifts are just temptations. You can't break kingdoms, break languages, break borders. You can't break beliefs and people's pride and expect those same people to wake up the next day unchanged. It's not possible. Africa did not lose itself. It was interrupted. And healing begins with remembering what was taken and what survived. That is why this is important. You need to understand where you are and how you got here to know how you can come out. It's not to put blame on anybody. Colonization did not end in 1960. You need to understand. Only the flags changed. They are still doing what they are doing in different ways. Colonization wasn't just land theft. It was psychological engineering. And to understand Africa today, we must understand how the continent was redesigned and how its people are reclaiming what was stolen, because we're going to reclaim it, reclaim ourselves, reclaim our sense of pride, and reclaim our identity in who we are.